Reminder, patrons get both weeks' episodes reviews early and simultaneously. If you want to see the reviews early, consider becoming a patron. It's still so weird seeing random extra people at the hotel. Like, what are you doing here? You're not trying to get redeemed? I know this is just a smear campaign from Vox, but like, technically you are kind of dictators, right? I mean, it's more of a monarchy situation, but like, it's not like they have an election process for Hell's rulers or anything.
I gotta get this taken down before all of the pentagrams sees it.
Why? Why would anyone care, though? Why does Charlie care so much? Like, being called a dictator was so important to Charlie, it interrupted her being jazzed about learning redemption is possible. Sarah was able to just magic her voice across all of heaven last episode. Why can't the rulers of Hell do the same thing? Why do they need to rely on a news channel broadcast to get the word out to others? Especially because, like, Alistair's right there. He has a radio tower. He's famous for broadcasting. Why rely on Vox to do this? Oh, Velvet popping off with her best look yet, 10 out of 10. I like witches, in case you couldn't tell.
Oh, it's a pleasure to finally meet you, Princess!
They haven't met yet. Why did Charlie have his email then? Well, okay, I guess she is kind of a princess. It makes sense she'd have everyone's contact info somewhere, I suppose. But again, this just further hammers home my question about why she needs to rely on Vox here. Is she an all-powerful princess of Hell? Or is she powerless and has to rely on the help of a lowly mortal sinner?
Clashing themes and too much red. But I can make it work.
What, is Velvet every critic of Vivzi's shows? But for real, there is too much red in both this show and Hell of a Boss, but I think it's very funny a character in the show would also voice this opinion.
And will you be protecting everyone? Not just your favorite characters?
Vox also doing his best critic impression. But actually now, I'm starting to wonder if they purposefully gave the villains common internet critiques to say on purpose, because they're the villains, and we're not supposed to agree with them. Maybe it's not as funny and cute as I thought.
We'll redeem someone, right here, right now!
This is a wildly odd decision for Charlie to make here. Why is she acting all hyperactive this episode? I know Charlie is excitable and energetic, but she's usually a lot more composed and, like, smarter. Every single decision she's made this episode has felt weird and kind of contrived. I feel like this plot could totally work, but I feel like it would land better if it was a lot more of Vox and Velvet tripping Charlie up, intentionally twisting her words around until she finally got so flustered and fed up she'd reached this point. But the V's here have actually been pretty chill, so Charlie's fumbling and deciding to redeem someone in this instant makes Charlie just come across as irrational. What is happening? Maybe it's the pacing, or maybe it's the direction of the scene, but Baxter's backstory kinda confused me. I had to go back and rewatch it, cause, like, are they fighting Zestial? Is this a tournament or something? They seem to be in like a coliseum of some sorts? Is this how you become an overlord? You have to physically prove yourself worthy? I thought it was like about having a bunch of souls in your possession. It might be obvious, but the overlords are my biggest hang-up with this show. They make no sense, and nothing about how they work has been explained at all, which is weird because they're clearly an important aspect to the setting and story. Why do we still know basically nothing about the logistics of them? What's crazy is there's 2 overlords in the main cast too. Alistair is currently an overlord, and Husk used to be one. And with how much time we've spent with the V's and Carmilla last season, they've had plenty of opportunity to better establish how the overlords work and what they do. Look at old Vox with his goofy old-style computer head. That's fun. It can rain in heaven? I mean, I love the rain, so it sounds like a heaven type of thing. I just thought they were kind of above the clouds, you know?
I found home in those messy fights.
Last season, Pentious' only singing part was in It Starts With Sorry, and I didn't like his performance because it leaned too much into his gravelly snake voice thing. This season, Pentious' singing is way nicer. It's not surprising. Alex Brightman is a fantastic vocalist. If anything, it's more surprising how subpar his singing was last season. The sentiment of the song is cute, but again, it's kind of hindered by the poor pacing of last season. Cherry was only in the show for the last 2 episodes, so her and Pentious' relationship was super minimal. If we had actually gotten to see their turf wars back then before this, I think it would would have hit a lot harder. Having it only be shown to us now during this song in flashback feels, again, like they're just playing catch-up. The song is nice, and I like their performances with each other. I didn't love the visuals, the action sequences felt kind of frantic and hard to follow, but I'll have to sit with it for a while.
Why are they here? You're aware those two crazy hang out with my boss, Valentino?
Yeah, see? Everyone else agrees. Why did Charlie do this? Having all your characters stand around acknowledging how this is all bad and stupid doesn't fix the fact this is all bad and stupid. Charlie's naivete in season 1 could be chalked up to a side effect of her optimism. Here, it really just plummets into making her come across as ignorant, and also kind of friggin' selfish. Like, ignoring how it makes no sense she would just exclusively seek out the V's to get this story out, when there could be plenty of other options available to her. To jump to forcing Angel to try to redeem, even without talking to him about it first, with the people he clearly does not like or trust right there, when he isn't even ready emotionally, and not even knowing how redemption actually works. This is really, really scummy. The trailer for the season made it out like the V's were the villains, but I don't know, Charlie's doing a pretty good job being an antagonist on her own. Wow, I hate this song. Musically, it does nothing for me. The rhyme isn't impressive either, the visuals are nothing to write home about, but what I hate is how, like, Charlie is still doing this? She still thinks this is how Pensius got redeemed? Again, when does that naivete just turn into stupidity?
Maybe the key is self-sacrifice if you offer up your life.
What? Like, as the song was going, I was like, oh, I see. Vox will probably be the one to point out Pensius died first, and he'll suggest that, and that's when Charlie will be like, oh no, you're crossing the line, and Vox will be the villain and try to push the idea of trying sacrifice. Unless Charlie doesn't want to actually prove redemption works, and it'll be a moment where Angel and Charlie can talk, and she'll realize she went too far, or whatever. Plot. I didn't think Charlie was going to be the one to come to this conclusion? In season 1, a lot of people were upset at the moment when Charlie went to Angel's work and ended up making things worse for him. I didn't have a problem with it because, while yes, she did make a mistake, she had good intentions. She was trying to do something nice for Angel. Here? No. This is contrived. She's just manipulating her friends and then putting them in danger, and it's all her fault. She's been weirdly selfish and short-sighted, and this whole episode has just tanked my opinions on Charlie as a character.
Okay, we have been trying to recreate Pensius's redemption, redeemed his own sin. That's why it didn't work for Angel.
Charlie just came to this conclusion out of nowhere? Like, she is right, but like, ugh. What a worthless episode. Why couldn't she have just gotten in contact with Heaven and learned this? Like, yeah, Heaven is in lockdown, but surely there's a way to get in contact with them. Why did they waste the whole episode on Charlie talking to the V's and doing the whole be polite to get redeemed shtick with Angel? We, the audience, knows this isn't going to be how it works, so why did we waste a whole episode on Charlie wasting our time on this just for her to magically guess the answer at the end?
To be forgiven for being Stop! Murderer. Oh, me that killed your dad, right?
I don't know why Charlie is so shocked by this revelation. Like, he literally wields dual Tommy guns. Also, they literally murdered a ton of Angels last season. I think murder is kinda common here.
Why don't you go ask Fox the next time you need to pry out more shit about my life?
First, why is Angel only upset about Vox revealing he murdered his dad? I would think Angel has a lot more things he'd be angry at Charlie over. Inviting the V's over. Volunteering him to try to get redemption without asking first. Almost killing Husk. Second, why didn't Charlie know this? They've been doing some therapy sessions and stuff. The whole idea is to redeem sinners. Why wouldn't Charlie ask about their actual sins beforehand? This episode was horrible. I freaking hated this. The songs ranged from fine to ass. Charlie was obnoxious and horrible. The V's were pointless. The whole friggin' premise was pointless. Why didn't Alistair do anything all episode? He is a radio tower. Why did Charlie go to the V's? It all felt like such a waste of time. Every single thing about this episode just pissed me off more and more as it kept going. Why is Charlie so hung up on the hotel's image? It's never had a very popular view in the public eye, die, so why get all hung up on it now? Why isn't she much more excited about Pentious being redeemed? The fact Charlie is so hung up on trying to make the hotel look flattering makes it feel more like this is just for Charlie's ego. Like she doesn't actually care about redeeming the sinners if she doesn't also get praised for it. Which, I know that's not what we're supposed to see here, but I can't help it. They wrote this episode, so it looks this way. Good people will do good deeds, even if they don't get rewards or recognition. I can't even convince myself Charlie cares this much because she wants to help redeem as many sinners as possible, because she's barely even talked to the patrons she already has. Charlie comes across as a nepo baby. She makes terrible decisions, puts her friends in bad situations either emotionally or physically, and yeah, Angel is right. Her sorries don't carry much weight when it keeps happening over and over. And they warned her. They all sat there and told her this was bad, and Angel vocalized that he didn't want to do this. And she just ignored him because, ooh, I want my hotel to be famous. I hated this episode. This might actually be the worst episode of the whole show.
Better be important, woman. You are interrupting my very delicate calculations.
Shout out to my $10 patrons. You're all amazing. Andrew, Valhalla Knight, Chamomile, Classy Critic, Jake, Amber, Scaring Crows, Not All That Evil, Messiah, Jacob, Ben's Sketchbook, Rain, Trash, Wild Pilot, Juan, Bunkin' Duncan, Hoodie Angel, Ranger, Sean, Primaroon, Lavaros, Plague, Tyrene, Thanos, Pandemonium, Peter, Aguirre, Eden, Doki Poki, Moon of Blues, Bargus Blue, Zappy, Wolfgang, Philip, Mac and Cheese, Lawleroni, Marie Fan, and Davey. So yeah, what did you think? I'm so bummed. I hated this. I can't stand anything with this episode. It was bad. It was terrible. The songs weren't even that good. Like, the more I sit with them, just whatever. What did you think? A lot happened in the episode on paper, but in actuality, nothing really progressed. What did you think? This irritated me so much. I'm so curious if other people are half as upset as I am. But yeah, any and all thoughts and opinions, leave them in the comments below. I would love to see them. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.